will mix it, how to move ahead also. Uh, when it becomes too much, you can stop me in between. First, some of the positive points what I see in the forum process is in my reading all the ideologies created in late 19th and early 20th century from French Revolution onwards have run their course. Their words have lost meaning. We use them, but we have become very ritualistic and dogmatic about them. And World Social Forum is a place where people are, those who are committed to values behind these ideologies of liberalism, socialism, democratic socialism, Marxism, communism, and they have lost mass base and now they want to renew. So even with the instrumental attitude, they come to this forum. Since forum by its construction is open space, does not talk about ideologies, does not have a collective declaration, so it allows diversity of ideological substreams to come on a common space, and there is an insidious process which forces people to re-examine their positions and forces all of us to learn from each other. Seeing sometimes if the intellectual type, I vividly remember Erki Tomia, toured the entire World Social Forum with me for several hours. He was then Foreign Minister of Finland. He said, there's so much of noise and so much of chaos, there's no focus. What is the point of investing so much of money? But if you look at it only as an outside, you see noise. But there's another point of view of looking at the forum. Those who cannot express in our social science and ideological idiom, but express themselves through what we think noise, the various kinds of musical instruments and dance and songs and street theatre. They also, from Dalit communities, from peasant communities, from Adivasi communities, what you call indigenous and tribal people, they all were there in Mumbai. That was the first forum where smell of the soil was there. So there, looked at the outside view, it looks like chaos. But when you see the individual islandic events, which are mostly self-organized, there is lot of passion and commitment to those values. There is lot of clarity in quotes about how to strategize, how to go, and lot of rigor, both policy issues as well as ideological. The only lacking is that there is no mega coherence, mega organicity in the entire. There is rethinking in all streams. So, and there are no institutional dialogic mechanism. Somehow they have, I don't even understand why in the normal societal processes, in the politics of discourse, this mutual learning from each other, why has it stopped? I do not know. But in the normal political discourse, that has stopped, and WSF provides a space where people can and do learn from each other. Even the Stalinist party getting obsolete, but its people, CPM in India, its people science movement has learnt a great deal, and its base has expanded, networks have expanded. So that's the first point I want to say, that it is a place where even it claims to be non-ideological open space, but it is a space where ideologies can renew themselves, can introspect. That's the first point I think. The other point is that there's an inherent tendency in the ideologies to make a theology of their own, and they almost get cut from the values because of which that ideological edifice is created, and they create world of their own validation system, and the delivery and the communicability to the masses is never judged in a real sense. People are with false consciousness, so we are not becoming effective. So, because of this reason, ideologically motivated, very committed people, they form islands and pockets, and people are on their own, they are left on their own, and there is no connection between the two, no communication between the two. WSF envisages society in its totality in a manner where this cleavage between our types who have a self-righteous arrogance of being social change agents and ordinary people, as they would say, this cleavage is not recognized, our sense of arrogance, because there is no declaration, there is no leading committees, there is a collegium, the decision making is not by majority but by a consensual process. So that attributes a kind of equality between our types and the ordinary types, whom we don't see as change agents. And our false sense of vanguardism is challenged by the very construction of social forum. So that's the third point I think about social forum and its significance. Fourth is that most of the international initiatives have almost died down. Socialist International or communists or liberals and even Greens are not that energetic. They are more controlled by German green dynamics than the real ecological issues of the planet. So they, in the absence of any global discourse on transformative politics, WSF, in spite of all its limitation, still is a space where new internationalism, new universalism, which is rooted simultaneously in the vernacular wisdom of people, in the vernacular ways of doing things. So WSF is a space which combines the vernacular and the globally, digitally connected, both the worlds. And any success, this is the precondition that if I put it in Indian context, an alliance between India and Bharat, the rural, the vernacular Bharat, and the digitally globalized, connected, English-speaking, English-dreaming India. An alliance between the two for shared dreams is a prerequisite for any impact in the transformative politics. And WSF is a space where this alliance, without undermining the autonomy of the other and without being judgmental on the other, this alliance and this partnership between the vernacular and the globally connected is possible. The similarly related point is that most of the international organization, Anglophonic majority would be there, or at best then Francophones would be there. This has Spanish and Portuguese as the leaders. It started with Portuguese, thanks to Brazil having been colonized by Portuguese. So it has a greater possibility of cultural plurality. If you attend the International Council meeting, it is so different. It is so similar to meetings in a chopal, in a village commons place, which happens in India. I don't know whether it survives in Europe or not, but I definitely know Africa and Asia and Latin America, it survives, and this is the dominant form where people in a freewheeling way talk, and they don't necessarily say their proposition in a very pointed, sharp manner, then others pick up, and eventually some kind of consensus is arrived at. So it is this forum, International Council. I don't know what the leftists have done. I have not attended for several years, and I believe they still think they would capture it and make it their own thing. but I don't know what has happened now. But the International Council, when I used to attend regularly, it resembled more a kind of a village, a general body meeting of my villagers, and not even the locine meetings where some of the very sharp formulations would be made. So that's, I think, is very, very creative space. About the minus point, I would say the first is emanates from my Indian experience, that NGO and international solidarity money is now mostly the purest money is Nordic money. And where does it come from? It comes from governments, collected through taxpayers' money. There is no, or church money is big money, which comes in direct, sometimes direct, sometimes indirect ways. There is no Hindu philanthropy, there is no Muslim philanthropy, which comes for World Social Forum. Church money comes, conventional foundations of all types, including the Nordic ones, that money comes. And all these monies in Indian context, even in the political non-RSS circles, they are suspect. NGO work, my assessment is almost illegitimate work. You know, if you have to undermine somebody's good work, you just say that they are foreign agents. And then the whole thing, without debating into the dynamics, how Christian money and the Muslim money and the Hindu money is a very significant money which comes in India. And they talk about foreign funding and foreign agents, those who question the social hierarchy and those institutions. So this, the political financing of World Social Forum, especially at the international level, is one big challenge, and I am only putting forward the question. I have no possible answer to that. The only thing could be done is that we have bottom-up conception of social forum rather than focusing only on the South Asia or global forum. If we the Indians, if we, this is just an idea, so rather than thinking of alternatives at the global plane as a first step, we first, in our Lok Sabha constituency, which is many times congruent with the, we have about 600 districts and we have 543 lower house constituencies, our parliament constituency. So each parliamentary constituency, if we make what Gandhiji wanted, a kind of planned document with dignified livelihood systems for all. So with that kind of thing, ecological concerns, climate crisis concerns, equity concerns, technology issues, everything will be woven in if you prepare a concrete plan at a district level, and along with that some kind of participatory governance reform agenda, democratic reform. Parties should keep their accounts, they should be transparent, let there be a district level elected government. So maybe if Indians do their homework better, with forgetting the boundaries between the NGOs and social movements and parties and right and left and center, if people like Arif Muhammad Khan and, you know, I would even be adventurous to say our friends, emergency jail friends like Govindachari, who was sort of marginalized by RSS, seen as rightist, but he has a lot of ideas on Swadeshi and all. If they, leaders like them, if they go to district level and put up in just, there are 200 LDC kind districts in India. They are called backward, economically backward districts. Planning Commission has identified. So in just those 200 districts, if we formulate a, you know, like Delhi election, this AAP party which won 67 seats out of 70, if we have that kind of thing in India, it will have global repercussions. That's my feeling. But coming back to the global, that's our thing. Sorry for boring non-Indians on this, but I wanted to use your presence to impress him to take the lead, because he is the best candidate for leading such a thing. But about the global thing, I think two, three central issues we should think. Whether one, there's a change of slogan in the World Social Forum. Earlier it was a better world is possible, another world is possible. Now it is peace, what?
No,
Freedom?
just for the March.
Yeah. What is that?
Freedom, equality, social justice, and peace.
Yeah. So non-violence is still not there. So which is okay.
There's still a subtitle on terrorism.
Peace is there.
At least they have for today.
About these two, three issues. One is this extremism, identity extremism. How in WSF space it has to be handled. This we should reflect on. I have some ideas, but I would like others to come in before me. The other is the globally climate, and I think India and Indian Muslims have a big role in that, global role, but I won't elaborate on that right now. The other is we should pick up the issue of climate crisis, and third is general disarmament should be brought back to the agenda, because a big percentage, maybe 70 to 90% of the arms purchase are from US. So, and that is the biggest source of of violence. It will perpetuating the present models in West Asia and on the planet itself. So these kind of 3-4 central issues should be picked up, and on that how to go about, not necessarily in the overall universal set of WSF, but the assemblies, subsets of World Social Forum. We should have these assemblies on non-violence, on disarmament, on climate justice issues, and in climate justice some out-of-box thinking is required. A global mapping of non-ecologically dated communities like Adivasi people who are not using any of the energies, not emitting carbon but doing carbon sequestration, acting as sinks. So those livelihood systems should be globally mapped, and their dignity, their material well-being is the responsibility of the rest of the world, and there should be a moratorium on destroying their forest and their commons till there is some reasonable solution to fast threat of survival of the living species on the planet. So these are the 3-4 issues which WSF assemblies or subsets must take up. And but again, these things also should be avoided. Only big NGOs, big donor agencies, and not involving peasant and trade union and mass organization will be no good. So these are the two basic issues I have in mind: picking up some central issues and political financing in a manner that we redevelop our links with the movements in an organic way.